Yeah, right. So
Mm-hmm.
you had what was called business segments. So I used to work at Best Buy, right?
Right, right, right,
So
right, right.
when you think of certain stores and where they were located,
Mm-hmm.
those stores were meant to penetrate a certain market. So their product assortment, they may have the core assortment, but they had certain things that appealed to a certain demographic because they want to attract a
Right.
certain segment of business into that store. Same thing with music. So with music, you can create something, but you may have a core audience, but really your target is that as a certain segment.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make music that's for the D boys and all that other stuff, you might have to hit the projects and the trap and try to get your music out to them, or get to where the D boys at. If they at the car wash, or if they at the strip club or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Get your music heard by those guys,
Mm-hmm.
because most of them dudes, if they real trap cats, they ain't online. You take those resources that you have and you put it towards marketing your stuff. If you're in Alabama, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Sanford, UAB, Miles College, you know, Jeff State, all these different places, because those are all the kids that's going to the club every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and they go into the clubs and they want to turn up. So you got to have the music for them.
Let me ask you this then: how do you connect into these lanes, to these stations, or to these kids? Like, how do you figure out what the pulse is of this lane?
I think you gotta first you gotta put enough of it out there and ask for feedback. You know what I'm saying? It's about building relationships. So if I were going out and say I had 300 CDs, and I'm using a small amount for somebody. Say I go to a college and I know I make music that's a little more intelligent, but it's still got a party feel, but it doesn't sound necessarily like the typical mumble rap. I may go to a school like Sanford, or I may go to a school and pass out my CD. Hey, what type of music y'all like to listen to? Y'all like to listen to rap music? Hey, my name is Benny. I'm a rapper. I just wanted to give you a copy of my CD and tell me what you think. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all right if I take a selfie with you, connect with you on the ground? What social media you use? And then, after you connect with them, take a couple of selfies or whatever you do as you pass the stuff out. Reach back out to them in a couple of days on the gram and say, hey, man, I appreciate you taking the picture with me. Did you get a chance to check out the tracks? What did you think?
So
it's a personal relationship.
Let me ask you this then, Benny. Let me ask you this. So let's say I'm an artist and I'm just starting out, got some beats. I record a couple of hot tracks, and now I'm trying to get in the game. I'm trying to navigate the game. I'm trying to get to another level. I'm trying to take it there. Tell me, what do I need to do, or tell me some things, or some lanes that I can navigate in to get more exposure, and then say segment into Birmingham, how to get more exposure in Birmingham.
I want to tell you this much. If you want me to be perfectly honest with you,
Yeah.
If I were an artist right now and I had a small budget, Birmingham would not be my focus.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'd go to Gaston.
Damn.
I'd go to maybe, let's see, what's going up a little further west or south. I go to Gaston. I go to Anniston. I go to Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
I might go down to what's the place outside of Montgomery?
Anniston?
No, further. It's
Opelika?
Or
Auburn?
Place like where Tuskegee is and all that. You know what I'm saying? I catch some of these college markets that are not necessarily in the big city, because your dollars will reach further, because you can get more impressions in a smaller area where there's not as much competition. So here, I can throw a rock and hit a rapper, and I can throw a rock and hit two producers if the rocks break, right? So, the thing is, if I go down there, where, and let me put it this way, in Birmingham, if you're in Birmingham, this is the largest city in the state of Alabama. So and I was thinking like Jasper or some of these other,
right.
So those people in like Jasper and Tuscaloosa and some of these others, Alabaster, where they got the college down there.
Right.
They come
Montevallo.
to Montevallo. They come
Shout out to the Montevallo.
Right. They come to Birmingham to shop. We're kind of like their Atlanta.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right. Birmingham is the Atlanta of Alabama.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So the people in Atlanta, the ones that are making it, they don't do all their bulk marketing in Atlanta. They go to Macon. They go to Decatur. They go to all these other spots because there's not a million rappers in Decatur.
Right.
There may be only 1,000 or 2,000 out there.
Right.
So out here, you may be rapper number 500 out of 10,000. There, you might be rapper number 20 out of 100. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. So let me ask you this, Benny. So let's say I've graduated. I'm getting these dope tracks. I realize that, okay, I got a skill at this. You know what I'm saying? I'm making something happen. You know what I'm saying? How do you determine the real from the fake, from the aspect of somebody who's really about doing business, or somebody who say they do business but they really ain't about this shit?
I think sometimes the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to do your research. I run across a lot of people that say, "Oh, I do this," and "Oh, I produce," or "Oh, I promote," or "Oh, I do this." And if you watch how they move, you'll see either a tree's gonna bear fruit or it ain't gonna bear fruit.
Right.
So you can tell from the ones that's like really putting in work, because you gonna see something manifest from what they doing, and they ain't gonna be the ones that's always caught up in some BS. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that's in the state of Alabama that's maybe not blown up, but they moving and shaking, and you can see the fruits of their labor. You know, I know people. I rock with a lot of people out in Montgomery that do stuff. You know what I'm saying? I rock with people in Mobile. I rock with people in Huntsville, and a lot of those people, you can see that, hey, so they're doing bigger shows, or hey, you know what, they got a placement on a video game, or hey, you know what, they've started their own station, or there's something that's bearing fruit from the work that they're doing, or hey, you know what, I just went to Atlanta and I worked with Moneybag Yo, or whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? If you can't constantly keep running around in circles doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that's insanity.
So let me ask you this then, Benny. So once you navigated from, okay, you figured out who's the real, who's the fake, now you're dealing with real. So now you have to deal with the dynamic of, you got family life, you know what I'm saying? You got a wife, I got a wife.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They all require time and, you know what I'm saying, different shit like that. So how do you distinguish, and how do you set apart between setting apart your music life and then your personal life to dealing with your, you know what I'm saying, your wife, your spouse, significant other,
right?
and time and shit like that?
That's tough, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, my wife met me like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just didn't pick up doing music in the middle of me and my wife's relationship, and you know, after me being a homebody and just doing this and that, and said, "Oh, baby, by the way, I'm supposed to start producing music." When we met and decided to get real serious, she knew that this is what I was getting ready to pursue. You know what I'm saying? And she had an understanding of what was going to come with it, and she supported it. And she put in work along with me because she supported what I did. I know that's not the situation in everybody's case, but I will tell you this. If you work hard enough and you start to manifest certain things through your hard work, that turns the naysayers into believers.
That's some deep shit there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if they see the growth, if they see you making strides and making moves, they may not even like the music, but they may say, you know what, you might be on to something. You know what I'm saying? But if you constantly chasing your tail and you running around the same ignorant, and I'm not dogging nobody, but you running around the same folks and ain't nobody making no progress, you in the wrong circle. You know what I'm saying?
That's some real shit.
You know, I've been caught up in the rat race before. You know what I'm saying? The way you think that this is what's happening, this is what's going, and ain't nobody making progress. That's when you got to take a step back and say, you know what? this don't make no sense. So you take a step back and say, either I got to get a new team, or I need to start over from scratch, or I need to take what I learned here from my mistakes and move elsewhere and start to network with people that are a little bit deeper involved. Because it's like, so I'm gonna give you some real spill, right? Most people don't reach down to pull people up. And pull somebody out of the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most people reach lateral.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They'll see somebody else and say, hey, well, I struggle with getting my music heard. And you might say, well, shoot, I struggle with getting my sound. I'm working doing this type of stuff and I'm struggling. Okay, well, why don't we work together and I can help you on this end and you can help me on this end. It's a working relationship.
Right.
But if you catch somebody that they ain't got no budget, they can't spend money on tracks, they can't spend money on studio time, they playing about doing this music stuff.
Well, tell me this then, Benny. Okay, say you got somebody say they not playing, but they don't have the money.
They got to go save them some money.
They don't have the budget.
They got to go save. They got to go get a budget.
They don't have the
they gotta save
access to producers or a studio. How can they get in the game?
Well, first you got to save you some money because this business takes money.
Okay.
This is not a free ride business. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, in order to get started, in order to produce a record, I tell people, if I catch you out at the show and you got some J's on and you got on the fake Gucci belt and the Louis hat,
swag,
and all this, and you swagging and you got on the necklace that's Fugazi that cost you
Fugazi, son.
You know what I'm saying? And then I hit you up and I'm like, my tracks cost $50 bucks or $150 for exclusives, or my studio time is $25, and you look at me side eyes, I know you're not serious.
Damn.
I'm a producer.
No, these boys ain't serious.
I'm a producer that I tell people all the time, I don't claim to be the best producer. I just know I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I've got a track record of real credits. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff on TV. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop records on TV. So you can't just tell me that my stuff is trash because of the fact that it's already been solidified by multi-million and billion-dollar companies that my music has a place.
For the people who don't know, you know what I'm saying? For the people tuning in, looking at the hit tracks, like, you know what I'm saying? Who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? This dude, you know what I'm saying? He swag, they laid back, he got the Barron's t-shirt on, but who is this cat? You know what I'm saying? Let the people know who Bennie Hurst is, Mr. Magic. Let them know your placements, your, you know what I'm saying, position in this game. Let them know how you got in the game, how you got to where you are, and let them know what you doing in the game.
So, man, that's a long story, but I try to make it as short as
possible.
Go,
hey,
right? So,
hey, we got time. Let's go.
So I've been doing music consistently and seriously since 2003, but I messed around with music like in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I was playing. You know what I'm saying? Late 80s, you know. I've always been a lover of hip hop and dope beats and R&B and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I used to dance. I don't look like it now. I actually used to be able to dance.
Man, you got to bust a move for us in a minute now.
But so as time went on in 2003, I kind of started taking it serious, and I had a little bit of money, and so I bought a desktop computer. I bought a mic. I looked online, and this is back before MySpace, or when it was popular, you know what I'm saying? I looked and I told people, hey, I'm to start building your studio. My dude was like, hey, I know a dude that was going to try to have a studio, but he decided to give it up. He might be able to sell you some equipment. So I went over there and I bought what he had. You know what I'm saying? I bought some speakers. I bought, man, I think I still got it up over here. You can laugh, right?
Okay. So, let's see what you got.
So this is some vintage stuff, right? This little doohickey here that's got dust on it.
What the fuck?
Tascam US 224.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's still got dust on it. It's actually a MIDI controller, right? So yeah. I used this. It's got the mic ports plugged into my old computer, and
OG shit.
And I was running the window, and I wasn't even hip right. I didn't even have a condenser mic. You know what I'm saying? I had short SM58s. You know what I'm saying? Then I said, hey, so I'm not getting the sound. So I ended up buying a $200 condenser mic with a nice pre. And then I just kind of graduated, right? And I started doing tracks and producing. I always knew I wanted to produce. I started out with a program that was called Magix. Crazy, right?
I've actually fucked with Magix, music maker.
Yeah, Magix,
yes, sir.
Music maker.
Yes,
then
sir.
Magix producer.
Yeah, I fucked with it.
The window, and
yeah.
One of my homeboys that was producing and making music, he turned me on to Reason 2.5. That tells you how long
Reason
back I've
is
been,
shit.
Yeah.
Reason like at 6 now, right?
No, it's at 9. They just
9.
released 9.
Fuck. I'm old as fuck too.
They just released 9.5 actually on the 29th, and now it has VST support.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they didn't have VST support. So So anyway, I started out with Reason 2.5. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I really got into making tracks. And then I had a small label. I had artists. I still kind of, you could say I have a label production company now. But throughout this whole time, I just learned more about recording. I got with different engineers to where I wouldn't necessarily say I intern, but I would sit up with them and I'd be like, so what does this do? How does this work? Man, how you get your vocals to sound like that? You know, all these different things that I just learned. And I would sit up there and take notes, and I go and sit up with them for like a week, and I go back home. I'm like, okay, so let me set my system up like this.
Right.
This. I need to buy these plugins. I need to understand how to work this EQ better. Or
competition is a motherfucker.
You know, so I just learned. I was just like 10 toes deep in it, like every day. Just what I did every day. And so as I progressed and learned more, I started figuring out how to sell tracks. I used to be on SoundClick in the SoundClick days.
SoundClick. You
know, and when I say, I'm talking about the early SoundClick days. I used to be up there with some of your people like Twan Beatmaker back in the day.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been in it that long. And I just kind of stepped away from the online game because I was really focusing on trying to build a label. And so we had some success. I put out about 20,000 units at the time of my own independent artist stuff. You know, I did some stuff. I've had stuff on radio. And then after we moved from that, and I got to a point to where I just really didn't like artist, dog. And then I went through a life-changing thing in my daytime career to where I started making money. And so you know about that. You know, I had a day job where I was making close to $100,000 a year. I kind of took a step back, but the music kept on calling. I would always tinker and make a beat and stuff like that. And I said, well, what could I do that don't require an artist? And so I got into learning about TV placements. And after that, I started doing that maybe about 3 years ago. And since then, I've had like 20 TV placements. I've been on like Love and Hip Hop, The Midnight Show. I've got 2 or 3 placements with Viceland. I Think Big. Let's see, Black Ink Crew Chicago. I think I've got something that hit Housewives of Atlanta. You know, just different stuff that my music has landed in, and I just kind of got back in the game recently for a couple of reasons. You know, as far as doing the label thing again, I'd taken a break from working with artists, but I had an artist that wanted me to get back that had heard my stuff years ago, wanted to work with me, so I kind of got back. And then me and my road dog, Aunt Ski, started back rocking real hard, and we just said we just gonna go back in, and we did. And that's kind of where I am. So I've done my share. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing I just picked up 3 years ago and
now
started.
I know you said something, and you kind of skipped over it, and you said this shit real casually, right? But did you just say you did 20,000 units on a record?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. I sold 20,000 units.
Now that's rightly putting in some work.
Yeah, I sold 20,000 units. An artist that I produced, mixed, and mastered, and I did some tracks for him. His name's Jaywalk. He's out of whatchamacallit. He sold 10,000 records too, and I produced 3 records on his album. I'm trying to think. There's a couple of people I've done stuff for that have done, you know, some numbers here and there. You know what I'm saying? But Jaywalk, probably outside of my camp, he's my fam. But outside of my camp, I know he sold like probably about 10,000 records.
Jeez. So you did the production and the engineering and All that,
Yeah, I
and you
produced
put
a
them
couple
out.
of tracks for him. He got tracks from other people, but I think I mixed and mastered that project. Um, and I don't think he does music anymore, but I think he sold a couple of thousand.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Independent. I used to work with my young artist Absolute. I think he did like 5 or 6 thousand. Ski over the course of time, we've sold a couple of thousand of his. So I mean,
Yeah.
collectively, I've probably put out about records that I've had my hands in. At least 30,000 records.
Okay. Okay. So we clearly see that, what I'm saying, you're industry veteran. You've been in this game. You've been in the city. You know what I'm saying? You've been making music in Birmingham. You the network, politic. You know what I'm saying? What do you feel is the biggest hindrance for Birmingham not being a cultural center, or say a music center of launching music industry careers from the many talented Birmingham artists that we got?
I think my dogs are at the door. No, I ain't even tripping. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I think there's a lot of people that either, if they got the money, they don't understand how long it takes to make this money work. You know what I'm saying? So they're thinking it from a different type of business mentality. Because it's a business, so it's a risk. You know what I'm saying? And it takes money. It takes a lot of money to really break an artist on a regional level.
What do you mean by that?
It takes a lot of money to break an artist on a regional level.
So how would you break an artist?
How would I?
Yeah.
So it's a process, but I mean, there's people that I would hire to do certain things. But there's a lot of people that think I just need to go to radio. An independent radio campaign in a region is like $30-something thousand, and that's like that's 30 grand for an independent radio campaign.
Damn.
So and then even having that, now you got to reach out and see how the record reacts, and then you got to market in those areas to where you can pick up show money. But that's just like, that's step 10. You know what I'm saying? You got to build awareness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in the South, people say the CDs is dead. Man, there's 100 million cars that still got CDs. The average car on the road in the United States is 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? 10 to 12 years old. So all them cars got CD players in them. And even them cars back then didn't have Bluetooth. So the average person listens to music when they travel. So CDs are still relevant. Not necessarily as a sales piece, although you can hustle and sell them. You got to get your music introduced to people, how they listen to music. So some people get it offline. Some people get it from hand to hand. So you got to kind of work both.
So as being an artist and then hearing you talk about the CD piece, you know what I'm saying? For me, I've seen people post online like, hey, artists, they ought to stop sending out CDs, and ain't nobody listening to CDs. But then, you know what I'm saying, I'm in a position where I got to order more CDs because people need them, right?
Right.
So and asking you, you know what I'm saying, Magic, what would your advice be to an artist that is out here grinding, that is out here getting it? What would your advice be to listening to the naysayers or listening to the audience of other people of what you should do?
Listen to what works. You know what I'm saying? Because you let the opinions of social media dictate what works, but there's people that have major street teams, and you know what they do? They pass out CDs, bro. And you know why they do that? Because it works. It works. But it's not the fact that that's going to get you a deal. That creates awareness, because you want to have a property CD. You want to have your artwork got to be A1. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just the CD. It's that. Are you putting out flyers? Are you putting out posters? Are you talking to the people that you passing out CDs to? You know what I'm saying? You got to build relationships. It's like building one fan at a time. Think of it this way. So if you went out and talked to 50 people a day about your music, and you got one fan every day, you know what I'm saying? One real person that rocks with your music. At the end of 100 days, you got 100 fans. and you've talked to what 50,000 people about your music. Then is that right? After 100, no, you talked to 5,000 people and you got 100 fans. You know what I'm saying? So now you done have 5,000 people that you have talked to that you can say, hey, so you know what? I got 100 fans. Some of these other people know who I am.
Damn.
I can maybe engage with them on social media or whatever. Maybe I can throw a show and book me a place that may do a door split or may let me pay $100 or $200 for a small venue, and I can get 70 or 80 people in there, and I can make me some money. And then I can sell them some merch now. Maybe I can sell them a t-shirt.